Teacher said I'd never amount to anything, so I bought the coffee shop where she works part-time and fired her on the spot. Back in high school, Mrs. Morrison was this bitter old teacher who seemed to hate every single student who walked into her classroom. But for some reason, she really had it out for me. Like seriously, this woman would go out of her way to make my life miserable every single day. I wasn't the smartest kid in class, but I tried. I'd stay after school asking for help, turn in my homework on time, and actually participate in discussions. But nothing was ever good enough for her. She'd roll her eyes whenever I raised my hand and would always pick on me when I didn't know an answer. The worst part was when she'd make these little comments in front of everyone. Like when I got a C+ on a test, she'd announce to the whole class that some people just aren't cut out for academic success. Or when I was struggling with an essay, she'd say things like, maybe you should consider trade school instead of wasting everyone's time here. But the moment that really broke me happened during my senior year. I was applying to colleges and had to get recommendation letters from teachers. When I asked Mrs. Morrison, she looked me dead in the eye and said, I'm not going to lie on a college application. You'll never amount to anything, Brandon. You might as well save yourself the embarrassment and just accept that some people are meant to be followers, not leaders. I was 17 years old and this woman just crushed my entire future in one sentence. I went home that day and cried for hours. My mom found me in my room, and when I told her what happened, she was livid. She wanted to march up to the school and demand an apology, but I begged her not to. I was already embarrassed enough. Fast forward 15 years later. I'd worked my ass off, started my own business, and was doing pretty well for myself. I was driving through my old neighborhood when I saw this cute little coffee shop that had just gone up for sale. The owner was retiring and wanted to sell quickly. I walked in to check it out, and guess who was behind the counter wearing an apron and taking orders? Mrs. Morrison. She was probably in her late 60s now. Gray hair pulled back in the same tight bun she always wore. She looked exhausted and defeated. Nothing like the intimidating teacher I remembered. She didn't recognize me at first. I ordered a coffee and sat down, watching her work. She was clearly struggling, moving slowly and looking frustrated every time the register beeped. The other employees were obviously running circles around her. That's when I called the current owner and made an offer on the spot. Full asking price, cash, close in 2 weeks. He was so excited he agreed immediately. I spent the next 2 weeks getting all the paperwork together and planning exactly how I wanted this to go down. On my first day as the new owner, I walked in wearing a nice suit and carrying my briefcase. Mrs. Morrison was working the morning shift, and when she saw me, her face went white. She finally recognized me. Brandon? She whispered, like she was seeing a ghost. Hello, Mrs. Morrison. We need to talk. I could see her hands shaking as I led her to the back office. I sat down behind the desk and looked at her standing there in her coffee-stained apron, fidgeting with her name tag. Do you remember what you told me when I was 17? I asked. She looked down at the floor. Brandon, that was a long time ago. You told me I'd never amount to anything, that I should accept being a follower instead of a leader. My voice was calm, but she could hear the edge in it. I'm sorry, she mumbled. I was having a difficult time in my life and I took it out on my students. It wasn't right. I leaned back in my chair. You're right, it wasn't. And now I'm the leader and you're the follower. Funny how things work out. She looked up at me with these desperate eyes. Please, Brandon, I need this job. My pension isn't enough and my husband's medical bills. I'm sure you'll figure something out, I said, using the exact same dismissive tone she used to use with me. You're fired. Clean out your locker and be gone in 10 minutes. Watching her walk out that door with her shoulders